But out of the fire and steel of a revolution, a different story took flight on this continent. A declaration that we are all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that in the newly independent United States, there will be no kings or lords, no serfs or subjects, but only citizens, each of us free to pursue our own version of happiness and able to determine our collective fate through an elected representative government. It had not been done. And because it hadn't been done before, the success of this experiment was never a given. In forming our union, the founders fell terribly short of the Declaration's promise, leaving slavery intact, allowing states to restrict the franchise to white men who own property. But in drafting a Constitution and a Bill of Rights, they did have the foresight, the genius, to provide us with a framework that allows each generation to make our union more perfect. And over more than 2 centuries, through petitions and protests, marches and strikes, moral appeals from the pulpit, and conversations at the family dinner table, men and women from all walks of life, of every color, every faith, every region, took up the cause of democracy and made it their own, until we, the people, came to include not just some of us, but all of us. And that's why the story we tell in this building begins not with Michelle's origins or my origins, but with our nation's, with a founding era print of the Declaration of Independence, and a pen and ink stand used by Frederick Douglass, Lincoln's Bible, and a pamphlet by Ida B. Wells, suffragist buttons, and a hard hat worn by FDR's Labor Secretary, Francis Perkins. And it's why the exhibits here focus not just on policies, but on the shared values that make democracy possible. A belief in the intrinsic dignity and worth of all people, and that no one is above the law or beneath its protection. A belief in checks and balances in our government, and an accountability that comes with an independent judiciary and a robust free press. A belief that our military and law enforcement owe allegiance not to any president or political party, but to the people and our Constitution. A belief in the peaceful transfer of power after the people have spoken in fair and free elections, recognizing that in a large, complicated society like ours, no group or faction gets its way 100% of the time. And a belief that qualities of character, honesty, integrity, kindness, compassion, a sense of duty and honor, those things matter in our public dealings, just as they do in our private lives. These are not, these are the values and traditions I believe in. And they are not Republican or Democratic values. They're American values we can all share, regardless of party. It is our greatest inheritance, the story of America at its best, because it reflects a basic faith in the decency of our fellow citizens, and the possibility that, despite all of our differences, we can see each other and understand one another and make common cause together. It is worth remembering just how radical the whole idea of self-government really was back in 1776. To that point, human history was a tale of conquest and castes and rigid hierarchies. A world where the strong dominated the weak, where power and wealth and status flowed through lineage, and the many were ruled by the few. But out of the fire and steel of a revolution, a different story took flight on this continent. A declaration that we are all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that in the newly independent United States, there will be no kings or lords, no serfs or subjects, but only citizens, each of us free to pursue our own version of happiness and able to determine our collective fate through an elected representative government. It had not been done. And because it hadn't been done before, the success of this experiment was never a given. In forming our union, the founders fell terribly short of the Declaration's promise, leaving slavery intact, allowing states to restrict the franchise to white men who own property. But in drafting a Constitution and a Bill of Rights, they did have the foresight, the genius, to provide us with a framework that allows each generation to make our union more perfect. And over more than 2 centuries, through petitions and protests, marches and strikes, moral appeals from the pulpit, and conversations at the family dinner table, men and women from all walks of life, of every color, every faith, every region, took up the cause of democracy and made it their own, until we, the people, came to include not just some of us, but all of us. And that's why the story we tell in this building begins not with Michelle's origins or my origins, but with our nation, with a founding era print of the Declaration of Independence, and a pen and ink stand used by Frederick Douglass, Lincoln's Bible, and a pamphlet by Ida B. Wells, suffragist buttons, and a hard hat worn by FDR's Labor Secretary, Francis Perkins. And it's why the exhibits here focus not just on policies, but on the shared values that make democracy possible. A belief in the intrinsic dignity and worth of all people, and that no one is above the law or beneath its protection. A belief in checks and balances in our government, and an accountability that comes with an independent judiciary and a robust free press. A belief that our military and law enforcement owe allegiance not to any president or political party, but to the people and our Constitution. A belief in the peaceful transfer of power after the people have spoken in fair and free elections, recognizing that in a large, complicated society like ours, no group or faction gets its way 100% of the time. And a belief that qualities of character, honesty, integrity, kindness, compassion, a sense of duty, and honor, those things matter in our public dealings, just as they do in our private lives. These are not, these are the values and traditions I believe in. And they are not Republican or Democratic values. They're American values we can all share, regardless of party. It is our greatest inheritance, the story of America at its best, because it reflects a basic faith in the decency of our fellow citizens. and the possibility that despite all of our differences, we can see each other and understand one another and make common cause together. It is worth remembering just how radical the whole idea of self-government really was back in 1776. To that point, human history was a tale of conquest and castes and rigid hierarchies. A world where the strong dominated the weak, where power and wealth and status flowed through lineage, and the many were ruled by the few. But out of the fire and steel of a revolution, a different story took place. On this continent, a declaration that we are all created equal, endowed by our...
Okay, ready to start? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be in your own geographical region of the world. Welcome to the Movement Radio. We have another episode for you, tagged The Enemies Within, and Abdullahi Salisu will be giving us a rundown on that. And we are live on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, Instagram, and on Twitter. If you want to join for the discussion, you can join us on the Movement Radio X page, and that's the only place we are having discussion and people to join in. But today we'll be talking about the enemies within, and we're about to start the program now. That brief introduction from Barack Obama's presidential launch regarding the values of democracy was played. And then within the Nigerian context, Nigerian problems are just basically divided, according to the opinion of this, the Movement Radio, into three basic things. We have the ruiners of the country, which are your political elites. We have our collective silence as a people, which is number one. We have the enemies within, which is number two, and the last group are the big man, which are the ruiners and the political elites of Nigeria. These are the three main problems. Every other issue that emanate from that country, tribalism, religion, corruption, it's just an offshoot of these three key facts. Because if these three facts were doing what they're supposed to do or doing the right thing, we wouldn't have the Nigerian problem as we have it. Our own mission and purpose is to use our medium to continue to educate Nigerians, inform them that there's a better option, that the option or the path being currently followed, and that as a people we can do better than this. We definitely can do better than this. This is why we bring you intermittently interesting opinions by Nigerians, their position, where they stand, and how we can move forward. Our basic objective is to reorientate minds and revolutionize the souls of Nigerians. We are focused on those who are falling asleep. We are focused on those who have lost interest. And we are focused on those who mean well for the country. We are not focused on those whose mind has already been polluted and cannot be redeemed. We are focused on the future generation, those who can hear us, and from there we can produce new leaders, the likes of Martin Luther King, Mandela, or those who have revolutionary mind or important position to take the country forward. One thing is clear: we know we cannot continue like this, and we are playing our own role and playing our own parts in making sure that the country change for the better. My name is Alaba Ferreira, and I'm reporting from Chicago. I have some other colleagues here on the screen. They're going to introduce themselves and tell you their location, and then we're going to get the ball rolling. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be. And we hope you have a good show. If you like what you see, click the subscribe button. Join us for discussion. Let's help find a solution to the Nigerian problem. Thank you. Next, Salisu.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening. We are here. I am Salis Abdullahi from Abuja, Nigeria. The time here is 18 minutes past 9, and we are here again with the Movement Radio. We are here to discuss the enemies within. And as you know us, as all that we do is we educate, we inform, and enlighten. We don't entertain, but we incite you to know your rights, to know your duties, and we are looking for a solution to our current situation. We are not here to just talk and then talk and talk. We are here to prefer solutions. And the solutions are no any other solution but the one you and me can collaboratively handle and do together. So let's have a smooth ride on the show today. I remain Salisu Abdullahi from Abuja, Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so very much indeed, Mr. Abdullahi Salisu. I am yours truly, Amuson Ibukonlua, one of the correspondents of the Movement Radio. I am indeed located in somewhere in Ogun State, Nigeria. I also very much commute Lagos. I've got so much, presence in Lagos, and many of our activities are also very much carried out in Lagos. And we look forward to having a very great conversation today as a result of, dissecting our collective realities and how we have been victims in this contraption. And well, we want to also hope that many Nigerians would join us to talk about this, and we will indeed dig deep into the concept of the enemies within. And of course, the concept of the enemies within is very, very much important to our collective, struggle as a people. So thank you so very much. I look forward to having a very robust discussion with everybody. Thank you so much. Back to you, host.
Ibukun, just before we go on, I think you have the wrong movement radio setup. You have the one with the THE, this, the old one. I don't know if you can switch it back to the other one so you can share it with our audience before
I tried to do. Okay. That one is already on video, so it's problematic for us to do
Should
it.
we take it off? Take it off video so that it will be easy for you to set up and have the other one.
Okay.
Right?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay, take it off video. Okay, it's been removed and then be easy for you. Okay. So, Salisu, you want to start? You want me to put the article on the screen or the summary? We'll do the summary after you finish the entire article. I think you should read the entire article in detail first, since it's not that long. When you're ready, you let me know. You want me to put it on the screen or?
Yes, put it on the screen, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, there we have it. So you're ready to go. Ibukun, you have any other additional comment before we proceed?
I think this is the summary that is showing.
No, the entire thing. That's the one. All thing showing now.
Okay.
Can you see it?
No, I'm just seeing the summary. Okay, now it's here.
Huh?
Yes, it's here now. I can see it.
Okay, that's good. We're ready when you are.
Yes, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's went up. Uh, Okay. Now let me read it. Let me read through it. Okay. The enemies within. Why the silence, patience, and complicity of the common people have become the system's greatest ally. We have spent decades pointing fingers upward at the president, at the governors, at the National Assembly, who legislates first, that seems to legislate for itself before it legislates for anyone else. Sorry. That anger is not misplaced, but it has become too convenient because it lets us skip a very harder conversation. The failure at the top has survived for 65 years, not only because of what those in power have done, but because of what the rest of us have agreed and quietly and repeatedly not to do. This is an article that that about the quieter failure, not the enemies we can name in Abuja or in the states. Sorry. Or in a government house somewhere. But the enemies who sit beside us in a workshop, in a worship, who share our surname, who greet us in the market, and who have taught generations of Nigerians that the most spiritual, most respectful, most peaceful response to injustice is to wait. The theology of waiting. Faith did not fail Nigeria. What has failed Nigeria is the counterfeit version of faith, one that quietly edits out the half of every
Sorry,
scripture
Mr. Salisu,
that
sorry.
demand action.
Mr.
Sorry,
Salisu, can you hear me? Sorry,
yes.
Mr. Laba, please check a code was sent to you. Please kindly check it and revert to me on my private line. Mr. Laba, can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, I got
Because
you. I'm going to send it to you now. Yeah.
Okay, the
Continue,
code,
Salisu.
yeah.
Okay.
okay, the theology of waiting again. Faith did not fail Nigeria. What has failed Nigeria is the counterfeit version of faith, one that quite edits out half of every scripture that demands action and keeps only half that counsel patience. Every tradition practiced in the country teaches that believers has an obligation to stand for justice, to feed the hungry, to protect the defenseless, to speak the truth even when it is costly. Somewhere along the way, in too many mosques, churches, and shrines, that obligation was replaced with a softer, safer message. Pray about it, leave it to God. Your reward is not of this world. The message has itself, it has its place. It becomes a lie the moment it is used to silence a citizen who could have voted, organized, or spoken, and choose instead of to fold their hands and call it fate. We must be honest about what this has produced. A country where citizens will fast for 3 days over personal need, but will not spend 3 days demanding accountability for a government contract. where a congregation will raise millions in an afternoon for building project, but will not raise its voice for the children starving 4 streets away. That is not pity. That is the enemy within, wearing the clothing of pity, and we must be brave enough to say no. The gatekeepers of patience. Look closely at who actually tells the common Nigerian to wait, and you will rarely find a president or a governor doing it directly. You will find a traditional ruler who receives a token from the local government and counsel his community to give the government time. You will find a religious leader who receives gifts before every election season and preach loyalty to which candidate sends it. You will find the community elder in the family house meeting who shut down every young voice asking with harder question, which you are still young, you don't understand how things work. You will find we will find the uncle at the family gathering who tell you that getting involved in politics will only bring trouble to the family name. These are not abstract enemies. They are specific family rules that exist in every Nigerian community, and they perform a specific function. They absorb the anger of the common people before it can organize into anything that system will have to answer. They are, in effect, unpaid or sometimes quietly paid managers of public patients on behalf of a system that depend on the patients to survive. The marketplace of silence. Nothing illustrates this better than what happens on election day itself. In 2023 general election, out of roughly 93 million registered voters, only about 25 million actually voted, a turnout of under 27%, the lowest in Nigerian democratic history and one of the lowest recorded in any other African country, in the African country that year. The turnout has fallen in almost every election cycle since 2011, when it stood above 53%. This is not apathy in the way the word is usually used. This is a population that has learned cycle after cycle that showing up rarely changes the outcome, and the pattern and the portion of that same population that has learned instead to treat its vote as a commodity, collecting a token sum on election morning in exchange for a ballot that will decide the next 4 years of its own children's schooling, health, and safety. But of this response, the ones who stay home and the ones who sell their vote for the price of a meal are symptoms of the same disease. A people who have been convinced gradually and thoroughly that their voice has no real value, so they either withhold it or sell it cheaply. That conviction did not arrive by accident. It was cultivated patiently by every gatekeeper described above over multiple generations. Silence. There is a comfortable might that keeps quiet, like keeping quiet is a safe. Neutral position, that person who says nothing at least cannot be blamed for the what happened next. This is a force, and it is one of the most dangerous ideas in Nigerian civic life today. Silence in the face of the documented worsening injustice is not neutrality. It is a vote cast for the system to continue exactly as it is. Every parent who tells a child no to get involved, every worshiper who redirects righteousness anger into private prayers alone, every citizen who knows the specific budget line that was diverted but say nothing for it or for fear of wahala is not standing outside the system's failure. They are one of its load bearing walls, reclaiming the space between prayers and protest. None of this is an argument against faith, patience, or wisdom. It is an argument against the misuse as an excuse of inaction. There is a space between blind rage and passive prayer that Nigerian civic culture has almost entirely abandoned. And it is exactly the space where real change is made, organized, informed, sustained, collective action. Voting and defending that vote, asking the uncomfortable question at the family meeting instead of accepting the silencing, refusing the token handed out on election morning, and asking the traditional ruler directly and respectfully, why is it not asking the same question upward that he asks obedience for downward? This is the harder revolution, not the one aimed at distant government house, but the one each of us must stage inside our own homes, mosques, church, and market stalls, against the quiet enemy that has convinced us that patience and prayers are substitute for participation rather than partners to it. Conclusion: break the chain where you stand. The system at the top has been studied, documented, and condemned enough. It is time to turn the same honest light on ourselves. The enemies within are not as dramatic as the corrupt minister or a failed policy, but they are in many ways more powerful because they operate inside the very people who have numbers, the votes, and the moral standing to force change and convince those people every single cycle to stand down. Break that chain in your own home, your own place of worship, your family meeting, and you have done something no election has yet managed to do. Nigeria will not be rescued from outside. It will be rescued the day enough of us refuse in our own small cycle to be the next voice telling someone else to wait. Thank you. An article written by Abdullah Salisu Ali. Thank you so much. That's it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Abdullah Salisu. That's a very powerful conclusion. We have to break the chain where you stand. The system as the top has been studied, documented, and condemned enough. It is time to turn the same honest light on ourselves. The enemy within are not as dramatic as the corrupt minister or a failed policy, but they are in many ways more powerful because they operate inside the very people who have the
Who have
numbers, the votes, and the moral
and the moral
standing to
standing.
force a change. And convince those people every single circle to stand down. Break that chain in your own home, your own place of worship, your own family
Your
meeting, and you
family
have done something no election
something
has
no
yet managed
election.
to do. Nigeria will not be rescued from the outside. It will be rescued the day enough of us refuse in our
Refuse
own small circle to be
the next voice.
refused in our own small circle. I can find it. Nigeria will not be rescued. It will be rescued the day enough of us in our own small circle to be the next voice telling someone
Next
else
voice.
to wait. Thank you very much, Abdullah Salisu. I don't know if Ibukun will be doing the pidgin version for us, or should we drawing the mind map? Okay.
Yes, so my people, make we
Hold on
follow
now.
our
Let
Obuku
me.
Nigeria, speak the language where they understand.
Where we understand though. Hold on, I'm setting it up, guys. Hold on. Hold on. fill just a little bit more. I want to centralize it. Okay. The enemies within, system's greatest ally. You ready for the pidgin version?
Yes, I did ready. I did ready to indeed address our people on it. The enemies within, system's greatest ally. That is, enemies where they inside the system. We be say, now them, now in they support the system to bring about all of the wahala where they happen to us as a people. And we don't break them down to so many different patterns. And one of it is problem. The problem policing upward. Please, can you zoom in, please? Can you zoom it a little bit in? Aha. It's too, yeah, I think it's okay like that. The problem pointing upwards versus quieter failure. That is the problem where they happen be saying when we are indeed having a failure that is staring at us in the face, but we are pointing to somewhere else. And number one is anger at leaders is valid. That is, as we verse for our leaders, is good like that. The next one is that, but it avoids a harder conversation because, but the thing be say, as we verse for this our leaders, some other things we will suppose get angry at them for. And of course, you have systems survives due to inaction. That is, this wahala where would they go through? The system where they give us this wahala, they survive all of these things. What do they do? They continue because we know if we take action about it. We know if we talk, say we no go agree. We just move on with the system as they do why you for us. We just move on with it, which is not supposed to be. And you have the theology of waiting. That is that on a big grammar. As we wait, so waiting that in mean as we wait. So let's move to the side a little bit. Counterfeit faith misrepresent scripture. That is, faith will be say no be original, no be ogbonge faith. They misrepresent the scripture. That is, as you believe in your Bible, so and Bible talks say faith without work not nothing. That is, if you're having faith, if you don't put action to the faith where they do, now nothing, it don't make any sense. All right. And the next line is edits out action, keeps only patient. That is, of course, I have said it before. Action we know day. All right, make useless the whole idea of we being patient. This whole endurance, with the endure waiting they happen. All of this wahala way would they go through. Our patience that is not transferring to action is nothing. They useful for us. They useful for us. And of course, replaces obligation with softer message. That is something we will suppose do. We can't be used small message like it is well. Now, nothing we go feed do. Pray about it, leave it to God, which is very, very very common among us. That thing they very, very common among us to surrender and to leave everything to God. And it becomes a lie when used to silence action. Yes, leaving everything to God. When we are not taking action, now something will be say they affect us where produces inaction on social needs. That is, we have needs. Our social needs like food, shelter, clothing, good job, good road, employment, all of these things. If we don't go get them, if they keep quiet. If we keep quiet and we think say that one are the thing we were supposed to do to leave this situation, then we are joking. We have to take action. Now only action go feed remove us from this situation where we find ourselves so for our Obodo Africa. especially for Nigeria. Let's move up the slide a little bit. Then we'll move to the gatekeepers of patients. The gatekeepers. Some people, they in charge of this mumu patients. Where would they get? Some people, they gatekeep them. Some people now in they supervise us as we they get this kind of patients. Not leaders, but local influencers. Yes. The people where they lead and to supervise this our mumu patients, they are not the leaders where they for up. Now people where they within us, people where they for our street, people where they for our village, people where they for our area. Now them they supervise this silence, these patients. Where would they get? Our traditional rulers, our religious leaders, our community elders, our family members absorb public anger before it organizes. Yes. Now them go they tell you, say, no worry, me will leave everything to God. Your mother will be telling you that, no, why are you hungry? You don't have any power. Your elders for community will tell you, say, waiting they worry you. She not only you they go through this problem. She not only you they go through this problem. You have to forget about it. All right. And of course, your traditional rulers, your pastor, will tell you, say, make we leave everything to God. Say God go handle them. Your traditional ruler will tell you, say, make we talk about how the oracle go fit help us with this problem. And the thing where they happen with that, they absorb our public anger before we go even organize, say, now the thing we're supposed to do with this to solve this our problem. Managers of public patients for the system. All of these people where I mentioned, so now them they manage the public anger. Now them they manage the public, patients. Now them they make us they cool down for the system. Make we know for go fight and demand for our rights. Make we know for tell the government, say we no go agree again. Now all these people where I mentioned, now them they in charge. Then we will have the marketplace of silence. The marketplace of silence. If we can zoom that in a little bit. Then low voter turnout. Yes. Like 2023 election. They always talk for the other platform where would they always get ourselves involved. Say in the last election, based on the record of the people where they do record where they talk, say now one of the lowest turnout in our history for Obodo Nigeria be that, because the person where they talk say he win the election get 8 million votes out of the over 90 million people we get voters card. And of course, the total votes with the vote of person where they talk say win and the vote of others, if you add everything up, you no even reach 25 million. That means, say, people will participate for that election not even reach 30%. So there's low voter turnout. People no agree come out, come vote. Number two, be say vote selling for taking some. That is on they sell on our vote. On they sell on our vote. Them symptoms of a convinced populace. That is all of these things. He talk say on don't make up on our mind. Say all of these things where they happen, so on go participate for the impunity, for the wayo where they go on. On they liars with the politician by selling your votes to them and by not coming out to vote. Because many of we supposed come out, come vote for a candidate we supposed be the Ogbonge president. No come. Many of we supposed to come vote for person we go represent for our community. You know, come out to vote. And this is the real problem we will they deal with for our Obodo Nigeria. May we move on with the slide. Voice have no value. All right, voice. Our voice no go get value if we no take action about it. Our voice no go get value. Our voice could just be like empty barrel where they make noise. If we continue to sell our votes to politicians and to refuse not to come out to participate in election, we are giving the politicians enough ground to do wetin they like. They will come go mobilize people wey no really matter to ensure say they dey for power perpetually. So it means say all of us suppose contribute to this election. Every election wey dey happen, both community election, both governor election, both presidential election, our action e dey very, very important. Make everybody contribute their effort, and then this is cultivated by gatekeepers over generation. All of these things wey dey happen, e don dey happen from generation to generation. E don dey happen tey. Na this thing don dey happen, and e go talk, now to do something about it. Na im be the koko. Keeping quiet is not a safe position. Yes, many people from obodo Nigeria think say if they no talk, na im be say they dey safe. At least if they no talk, nobody go arrest them. But no be like that. That silence where you dey silence, no be neutrality be that. You are serving the interest of the people wey be say they spoil the Nigeria for us. Because as you are keeping quiet, it go allow them make they do wetin they like as they like. Silence in injustice is a vote of status quo. That is, as they keep quiet, so you are telling them to continue to they do their bad things with them they do. You they give them license. With your silence, you they give them license to do whatever it is that they like. And that in itself is a political statement. So keeping quiet is not a safe position. As you keep quiet, so you are not really doing anything that is productive to help waiting they happen for the country. And you have load-bearing walls of the system's failure. Yes, load-bearing walls of the system's failure. That is, they create wall, all right, such that there's no way for us to break out of the cage where the system don't cage us. The system don't cage us. All of the problem where they complain, now the wall, now the cage with that. But your silence no go help break that wall. It will rather keep that wall intact. The wall will remain there if you choose not to speak up and talk, say, I no want this thing where they happen to me, so I want change. Then you have reclaiming space between prayer and protest. Reclaiming space. That is, if we want to recover everything we don't lose, we have to choose between, say, make we dey pray, or make we do, we no go gree. And how do we do that? Not against faith, but its misuse. Not be say we dey talk, say make you not be Muslim or make we not be Christian, but make we dey do things too much, it not still good for us. Too much of everything they talk say it dey bad. Too much of everything. All right. So make we no misuse this prayer. Prayer good. Make we pray. But make we can't turn prayer, make it no allow us do some other things wey dey necessary for us to do. Now im be the cup, now im be the real problem. And you have space for organized, informed action. So apart from say we dey pray, space dey for say make we come together, make we gum body together, make we carry out action. We go solve our problem together. And you have voting and defending votes. That is, after we don't vote finish, we go tanda gidigba, defend our vote for polling units. Make sure say the person where they conduct the election for our local government or our polling unit, make it write the number of votes, people will vote, and make it do them correctly. Make wayo no day for the figure. Then the next one say asking comfortable question or uncomfortable question. Make we get the boldness to ask, say, why this thing be like this? Why this thing be like this? Why this thing be like this? Now boldness, now be that to ask uncomfortable question. Like why be say there's so much, like the one where they happen for President Tinubu government, where would they give fake agency? The uncomfortable question now to ask President Tinubu say, why fake agency dey for your government? Now, uncomfortable question be that. Then refusing tokens, demanding accountability. That is, make we reject, make anybody they bribe us, make we ask for accountability. Make you give account of how you take spend our money. Make you give account how you take give this contract to this contractor. That is accountability. Revolution within homes and communities. That is, yes. Revolution not be say it must to be nationwide. Even in our homes. Waiting be revolution. Revolution are change. We have to change how we take they do things for our house, for our homes, for everywhere we will meet ourselves, for our community. Make we change our pattern. Now the thing where revolution mean be that. Then make we move to the next slide. The next slide is the chain. Break the chain. The chain we dey our hand, we tie us together. We no make us act. We no make us take action. We must to break that chain. The chain where they keep us underground. The chain where they keep us without taking action of waiting they do us for our society. We have to break that chain and turn light on ourselves, not just leaders. We have to look within us because now from us, now in the leaders they come. Now from us, now in people they say they want to become leaders. So we have to look within us. We have to look within us. Enemies within operate inside the people. We have to identify people where they discourage us. People where they discourage us for inside our community. People where they tell us, say, make we no talk, make we no speak up. For inside our society, we have to identify them and we have to pick them out. Convince people to stand down. Yes. We have to convince people, say, make them agree. Anything where anybody want to affect us, that will affect us, that will not allow us to have access to the dividends of good governance, make we no agree until we have the dividends of good governance for all our areas. Then break the chain in your own circle. Break the chain in your own circle. That is for your own domot where you dey. That your face me, I face you where you dey. Make you no allow make anybody cheat you. Make you no allow make your fellow neighbor make you do waiting no good. You have to stand for it and say, no, this thing we don't like them. This thing not be the something we will want for this our domot, for this our street. We no want this kind thing make it day for this street. Make you stand your ground and break the chain in your own circle. Yes. Make the sabi you say you be coconut head. Say you know they agree. Make them know say you no go follow anybody do bad things for your area. And of course, Nigeria rescued by collective refusal to wait. That is the only way we will escape this thing where they happen to us. Now, if all of us cooperate together to say we no go agree, and we no go they wait for all of the politicians to they give us empty promises. Now the solution be that. So I believe say we don't break them down for our obodo people. We they take understand everything with the talk.
Yeah, that is true. Before each of us comment, I want us to adjust our link. For example, the link that we want people to join us, we ourselves should be able to go in there. I was searching for it, I couldn't go in. So that then they will have people spread across the other links that were other open. We could need to redirect them to the right link so they can join us. But first, the three of us first of all have to get into that link so before we start our own, because each of us going to discuss what does the word enemy within mean to us, who are the enemy within, who are the enemies that are known, who are the enemies that are unknown that are within. Because there's a lot of people who are aiding the system and they want to change the system, but they don't even know that they are aiding the system. And we complain. It's always easy when we have somebody to blame. The leaders are doing this, Tinubu is doing that, Damo or Akpabio is doing this. You know, when we forget our own roles in what they are doing, how we encourage them. So, Ibukun, that's the technical part is up to you. How do we get, like, I'm trying to get into the space now. Or I won't be able to get into the space, or how do we do it to get people into the space? And I saw 2 or 3 people in the other spaces already waiting. How do you redirect them to? So in total, I think I see about 14 people. So that's up to you to guide us verbally so that we can get going
Well,
before we start the discussion.
this space, I don't know why the space kept. Yes, I can hear
What's
you.
the question?
The
Yeah,
space,
the space
kept it's crashing. I have tried to
Oh, it's
restart it
crashing.
again and again. I have set it up again.
Oh, it was
I have
crashing.
restarted it again. It's up again now, and I will
Okay.
send the link.
Now
I'll
let me
send the
see
link
if
to
I
the
can go in. Yeah,
the
send the link.
movement radio. I'll send the link to the movement
And
radio
then where can we
again.
share the link for people who wants to join?
For movement radio, I will share it on the movement radio now. The community on WhatsApp.
Okay. Because that's the most important thing. If we are talking and people cannot join us, it makes no sense. We have to find a way for them to be able to join us. Okay.
I have sent the link on the movement radio community. The last link is what they will use.
Yeah, I'm
to join.
trying to join in. So if I look through the list of space operating right now, would I see it?
Yes,
I'm on
look
my
through
X
it.
now. I'm looking through the list.
Yes, look through it. You should see it now.
I see the 2 red one, the video one. That's not the one we are looking for. It should be
Yes,
blue,
that's not the
right?
one that you're looking for. Is it? Let me put it on the screen.
Okay, I seen it. I click on it. Okay, let me see. Then I join as a speaker. Accept. Okay. Did he accept me? Then is it possible you can share that on the screen? So, or it's not possible?
Yes, yeah, it's possible.
Let me
I'm
try
sharing it on the
again.
screen
I
now.
join again. Okay. Let's see, it's green. This is how we gotta guide people to it because people are spread all across and okay.
Yeah, it's
Join.
you seem to have left
Accept
again.
speaker. Okay, I've joined again. So Salisu, can you
It's on
also
the screen.
join? And you? Then we have to be careful with the problem of echo. And then tell the other people in the other pages if you can redirect them. Well, they can hear us. You just guide them through so they can join. And then we
Yeah,
just have
please.
to worry about echoing the voice. Just direct them. We'll wait for, we give that like about 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe meanwhile, we'll play a little music while we're doing that, right? If the music plays.
All right.
Okay, yeah. To give us about 3 to 5 minutes to do that. So people can join because they're spread all across and I don't think they got it. We're not directing them right. That's our fault. Can any of you hear the music or it's just me that's hearing it?
No, I can
Yeah, I
hear
can hear it from my
Can you hear
head.
the
Yes,
music? Okay.
yes, I can.
So I need to stop the music so you can direct them, right? Iboko, you need time to direct them, right?
The other
Okay,
space
Iboko,
I've
go
shut
ahead so
down.
you can guide people. Eh?
Please. Okay, well, I have I think we have 14 of our people on the video section, right?
All over, I think. I don't know. I just saw 14 here, so
So
they must be in the wrong page.
we just want to
So
guide
they
them
can
to
join
look
for the
for,
discussion.
if they check on X, they will see it, just as you have located it, it's easy for them also to locate it from the, or they can check the movement
From the
radio
X.
community for the league, for the
Okay,
link
let me
that
see if I
directly.
can share that screen. What X? X login. Keep directing them.
Yes, please let's join the space, the audio space, the one that is not in red color. That the one that you should join is not in red color, so that you can
The
pick up the
blue one.
mic and have a conversation with us. Yes, the blue one is the right one to join. But some people they just love the video. But with the video, you cannot communicate with us. That is where the but with the blue one, you can communicate with us in the studio here by picking up the mic. So please, to all our audience, please go check out the audio version of this broadcast so that you can communicate with us if you can. And of course, to as many as those in our community on WhatsApp, they can use the link directly. It will take them to the audio section of this broadcast on X. So it's accessible, just like easy as Mr. Alaba was able to get in. So it's very, very accessible. Very, 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 very. It's just a matter of following the step by step.
I can share it. Is it the one I'm sharing now? Is it showing? Hold on. Okay. You still have to be careful with echoes.
I guess that echo is an internet situation. It's not necessarily our technical issue.
Oh, okay. Okay. Share this tab. I don't know if I'm sharing the right tab, but let's see what you all got. So did Salisu join? Who else join before we start talking? Salisu, have you joined?
If I joined, I think it's going to affect
Oh, it's going to
my
knock you out.
connection.
Don't join then. Don't join.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to knock you out. It's going to, it might kick
But
you out.
So for us in the
Yeah, that's
studio, we
because I
can't join
have two
because
phones.
it will be knocked out. Yes, because you have multiple devices. That's why you are able
Multiple
to join.
phone. Okay, that's why I'm able to do it with
Yes.
the other line. Okay, that makes
And of course,
sense.
that could also be a challenge for as many as those that want to see the video, and also, so they have to choose one of the world. They can't be in both sides
Yes,
of the world at the same time.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
They
that
cannot
is
be on the
just it.
video section and then be on the
Yeah,
discussion section.
it's
Oh,
not, they will have to choose one. Unless they have two devices or multiple devices, that is the only reason why they are able to.
is the other show you started still on?
Yes, it's still on, but I just have to leave them and run
Yeah,
here.
when you go do that, let them know that we are on here. Then me and Salisu will have our own say on
Okay,
who are
well,
the enemies
okay.
within. While we're doing that, should take
Let me
us
go
about
make that
10 or
now.
15 minutes. Yeah. And
Let
then
me. Okay. All right. All right.
okay. Do Salisu want to go first on who are your own apart from the fact that you wrote the article very good and detailed, you know, in a contextualized person, who can you list as enemies within? I have my own perspective, or do you want me to go first?
Yes, you can go first, so maybe I will come
Okay.
second.
Yeah. For me personally, I've always seen all all of Nigerians as the enemy within. About not the politicians, not the ruiners, the regular Nigerians, the good guy. The guy is always criticizing, the guy is always marching, the guy is always protesting. They are enemies within, but to me, most of them don't even know that they are enemies within. For example, and I'm going to name institutions and organizations and then tell you why I think if you belong to this group or organization, you are an enemy within. Let's start with the political parties. For example, if you're a member of, let's say, APC, and I'm not saying this to be partisan because I'm not partisan, APC, PDP, or LP, you are an enemy within because you know or you don't know that the actions they are practicing is not democracy, it's kakistocracy, is money for votes. That's not democracy. You know that what you are strongly supporting as a political party is not practicing the ethics of democracy. It's not, and yet you still support them like a football team, and you support them fanatically, not just ordinarily. You know, there's a time where in every individual's life you have to identify and say, look, my country's interest is bigger than my party interest, or my
My
personal
personal
interest is bigger than my party interest. But when you put your party interest above your country's interest, above your own personal safety, then you are either insane or foolish, and you are an enemy within. And when you don't even realize it, that means that your foolishness level is even at a higher grade than expected. So, for me,
okay.
those who are registered members of these stated political parties, and I can list them: APC, LP, PDP, SDP, are enemies within, although most of them don't know that they are enemies within. That's one category. Another category are members of the civil society organization. They are enemies within because they see the state their country is. They see the state their country is, the state their country, the pain their country is going through, but yet they still continue as normal. They still portray the situation as well. It is well. Well, that's the Niger factor. You are civil organization. That's another organization I would list as an enemy within. Another one would be the Nigerian Bar Association. You've seen the dilapidated state of the judiciary, of the judicial system, and you have no position, you have no right or no official position as a member of the Bar Association, as judges abuse the constitution, as the executive abuse the constitution. You are the learned persons within the community. You should be the spokesperson for these things, and you say nothing, even when the ethics of your profession have been degraded. To me, you are an enemy within if you belong to the Nigerian Bar Association. If you are a journalist in Nigeria, if you're a journalist in Nigeria and you belong to, and you produce on Arise, on LTV, on the Mirror, the Sun, and you see the state of your country and you don't ask pertinent, important questions towards those that are the ruiners, to me, you are an enemy within. If you're a journalist, so the Nigerian Journalists Association, anybody that belongs to that organization is an enemy within. Maybe yes. To me, another group I will pick on will be the Nigerian Christian Association and the Islamic Association, whatever group that exists. If you
Yes,
are
Canada, yeah,
supposed to represent God, and you see the insanity of sins that goes on in that country, the corruption, the crime, the pollution, the everything that is going on, and you are not even representing God on human behavior, on morality, you are an enemy within. But you represent money, you represent loyalty to party, you are an enemy within. So Christian Association of Nigeria is an enemy within. Islamic organization, if there is one, is an enemy within. All these religious leaders, they are enemies within. Another group I would mention as enemies within are the traditional leaders. They are enemies within. They are not part of the ruiners. Remember, there are categories. There's the ruiners, those are the political holders. The enemies within, the traditional rulers, because they are subservient to the rulers. I know they have to survive, stomach infrastructure. They don't say things that are important to withhold their traditional office, the office of their people. They are enemies within. So we have Nigerian journalists, we have Nigerian lawyers and judges, we have so basically I'm listing a group of Nigerians who have had the opportunity to have gone to school, educated ones, the ones you call intellectuals. They are enemies within. So the list goes on, and and I think for the record, it's important as we document the events that are happening in that country, to document this fact and say, when the country needed you the most to be a professional, you were not. You were not. The Nigerian Nurses Association, they are enemies within. The Nigerian Medical Association, they are enemies within. All this professional organization that has failed in their duty to stand for themselves or their country, then that takes us to the academia. Those ones are even the worst among enemies within, because they are not just the custodians of our current event, they are the custodians of our future. They have to teach our children, those in academics, but they are the same ones that are rigging elections for those who did not go to school. You can see how pathetic that is. So you can imagine what kind of future generation, you can imagine what kind of future generation they are raising, who will be, what the next 50 years is going to look like. When you're raising criminals, I understand the environment has subjected them to the state they are in, but there is something called a code of ethics that every profession holds on to. And if you ever read the book by on tyranny by Snyder, he says that professionals are the last wall towards tyranny. For example, if you're a judge and you're giving a judgment saying your hands are tight, you have brought down the walls that's supposed to defend the people against tyranny. If you're a journalist and you are afraid to ask tough questions, because your hands are tied, you have brought down the walls that will protect your people against tyranny. If you're a doctor or a lawyer or any of these professions that we are officially trained in school to be professional, and your hands are tied, nobody will have a carpenter whose hands are tied construct a chair for them, or a surgeon whose hands are tied to do surgery on them, or a judge whose hands are tied to do. So these are the professional implication. And Nigerians are very intellectual people, very educated people who went to school, people who are smart, but yet they are midwifing this state of insanity that no culture in mankind has ever exhibited. Yeah, go across all nations, there are good and bad people, but there is no culture that normalize madness, that normalize insanity, that puts the madman on a stage as we do in Nigeria. And this is why we are where we are. So virtually, if you have to put it in terms of numbers, I would say 98 to 99% of Nigerians are enemies within. They are enemies against themselves, They are enemies against their children. They are enemies against their country. They are enemies against their own future. And it is hard to explain. So the concept of the enemies within goes deeper. So it's easy to always point at politicians will do whatever they will do as bad people because absolute power corrupts absolutely. It is when nature is not checked in terms of action and reaction, when we refuse to react or protest, that's when the insanity becomes normal, and that is what has happened to Nigeria. Insanity has become normal. It did not become normal because the leaders were bad. It became normal because the people allowed it. The good people, the people we call good people, the pastor, the judge, the lawyer, the journalist, the educated ones, they are the custodian of that insanity that has befallen that country today. Because if they reacted, if they spoke, if they marched, if they complained, it wouldn't be this bad. So it's not when everybody wants to take a rope and tie it around Tinubu's neck and blame Tinubu. And I keep telling people, Tinubu is not your problem. Tinubu is not the problem. Tinubu is a symptom of the problem. Someone like Tinubu came out because the system allows it. And the system allows it because you allow the system to be the system. And someone worse than Tinubu is still coming if we don't put a check to this madness. So you can want to point finger at Tinubu all you want, at Akpabio all you want, at Wike all you want. They are just living witnesses of the situation we allowed. They are not your problem. We are our own problem. You understand? So these are the key facts regarding the enemies within, where journalists are the ones that are protecting the insanity of they can ask tough question. A fake ministry in your government. It first started with constitutional violation, where it says nobody who does not win Abuja can be declared. Not one single journalist asks a question, but now they want to blame Tinubu. How can you blame Tinubu? You never said anything. It's not Tinubu's fault. Tinubu didn't do nothing any human being wouldn't do in his position. None of you journalists ask question, why is the swearing in taking place? Or you that call yourself lawyers, none of you ask question, why are we swearing in somebody before the case ended? How can this be law? You see, when you don't ask the normal questions, you get the results you get. And those are the enemies within. And a lot of people are working for the system, and they are the first to come and criticize the system. They are the first. APC did this, APC did that. What about you? You keep running for election every year when you know they are rigging election. Shouldn't you fix election rigging before you run again? This is how we are all part of that collective silence. But collective silence is not our biggest problem. It's the enemies within. The mimios that are defending the insanity. The ones you see on X. Talking rubbish. Defending Gbajabiamila. Defending Adeniyi. Defending all these people that are doing terrible, terrible things. Defending Malami. Defending El Rufai. So we have a concept of my thief is better than yours. So if that's our concept, if the concept is not a thief is bad, no matter who is thief it is, that's what will save the country. But as long as we still think my own thief is better than yours, there's nowhere we're going. That means we are part of the problem. And that's the mentality. So that's my own concept of who the enemies within is. I would say in terms of numbers, that country has close to 98 to 99% enemies within. And that is deep. For a country that wants a change, that wants a revolution. You are an enemy within when somebody is telling the truth, you come and attack them. Somebody is saying you that they're attacking me. Play victim. No, let me stop there so that you guys can talk and what's your own concept. You can identify them. And I think these things needs to be documented for history, so that when that terrible thing that we all feared eventually happened, we all would know what was your contribution to it. What did you do? What did you not do? Salisu, or who is going next? Is it you or who else is going next? That's my own.
I think
you want?
Salisu should go first. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Alaba. I really appreciate, because you actually identify the key and you take it very in depth. And for me, I will categorize it into 4 classes. The enemies within that I personally perceive that are the real enemies within. And the first is the media, because as media that is regarded as the fourth realm of the state, of the estate. So after the executive, the legislatures, the judiciary, the fourth realm is the media, which is the most powerful among all the realm of the state. Because the media, as someone who have like the knowledge of the media, which we called the culture industry, that's who what, because even the family itself, in the modern era that we are, the media give more than 60% of the training that the people are getting, even more than the family institution itself. So the media is the first and the biggest enemy within that all of us are working with. Is either you are battling with the traditional media, which include the radio, the TV, the newspaper that you are reading, or the social media that you go on. That's all our media and all our what are creating culture. And that those are the things that drive us to where we are today. Because those are the ones that, if whatever we are saying today, they are the ones who shape our thinking. Most of the people is the media that shape their thinking. Once you said something, the people will say, where do you hear it? I hear it from social media. They believe it and they act on it. So the media is the first enemy within that I identify, and is very strong, and is the one that is influencing even the other ones I'm going to. And the second is the religious institution, is the second biggest enemy within, because the religious institution itself refused to tell us, okay, that you teach us morality, and you didn't teach us, okay, when things are going wrong within the moral prism that we say we have, what should we do? Are you supposed to stand as you lead us in prayer, lead us in action? Because you can't just stand at the pulpit, tell us, okay, these are the right things to do. And when people are not doing those right things, and then you will tell us, okay, we should pray over it. So if an armed robber is in your house, he's trying to break into your own house, he's breaking the door, and you are praying, oh God, help me. You are not finding your house is on fire, and you are praying for God to send rain. Maybe in February in Nigeria, you are praying that God should send rain to quench the fire. It's something that cynically psychologically we should ask ourselves. But the religious institution have indoctrinated us in the sense that, okay, everything should be what prayed upon. So we need to, so things need to happen miraculously. That's why even if you look at the prayers, the preaching in the mosques and the church, in all the religious institutions are teaching us to be less radical, we should just be conservative to what they are teaching us. Don't go against what they are telling you. If you go against it, so you are a deviant. You are someone who is like behaving outside the teaching of the religion. And then The next one is the traditional institution, which work hand in hand with the religious. Because in the north, if you see any mosque that is more than 20 years now or 30 years, is what is the traditional institution that sets the mosque. The same thing, the church that has been in existence for more than 30 years in any way in Nigeria is the traditional institution that set it. And they work collaboratively. And they are what? They are representing the states. They are representing the state. So any pastor or anybody that they know that is not going to continue preaching the gospel of the so-called reigning class will not be in that position. So the tradition is even as they are losing their value, and them too, they don't know, because many of them think that okay, this thing that they are doing, the ones they are accumulating is what will give them protection. They don't have protection because they are making themselves more vulnerable, because many of them have lost connection, because both the religious and the traditional institution have lost connection to the spiritual realm. That's why I'm someone who believes highly in spirituality than religiosity. So that's my own perspective. So both the traditional and the religious institution have lost connection to spirituality because they don't listen to what their ancestors and what the gospel they are preaching is telling them, because it's made like they are just their tongue is saying different thing, and their mind and their soul, their body is acting differently. Because you are fighting between the truth and the lie. You are saying the truth, you are acting the lie. So that's what is happening. Then the fourth one is the family institution. The media, the religious institution, the traditional, then the family institution itself. Because each and every one of us is a product of a family. And in our family, they keep telling you, even when your elder brother or sister or anybody they say is your brother, you should not rebel. It's your brother, you have to obey him. Your father is not doing the right thing, you cannot rebel. You have to obey him. So that absolute obedience and absolute loyalty, even at the time that things are going wrong, is what brought us to where we are today. And it starts with the family. So the enemies within, to me, the media, the religious institution, the traditional institution, and the family institution, if we can change the perspective from this, because the family is who give that person that is outside, that is keeping quiet and is just an onlooker, not an active member, a passive member of the society, is he started from his family. His father don't participate in anything politics. He don't participate in anything political discourse. All they do is he grew up seeing his father to just on the radio and listen to the radio, listen to the news, watch NTA, watch the TV. At the end of the day, read the newspaper and sat down with his friends and they discuss, they don't act. And him too, he imbibed that culture. The only thing I see my father doing is what? Listen to the news, see everything that is happening and keep quiet. After discussing with friends, they can't take action. So me too, I continue with that same culture. Because he said, the pastor said that the imam says that we should not act. Or if you act, maybe the traditional leader will report you to the police and the police will take you up from there. So all those things are things that, because it started from our family to our traditional institutions to our religious institutions, then it gets to the media, because the media mode, it has a very deep effect on us. Because if you look at more than 90% of us, our dressing is the product of the media. Our way of doing things is a product of, because I saw it is done this way. And who portray it to you? The media. Many of us have not traveled to anywhere, but we are mimicking others. Many of us have no connection with anybody, but the media brought that person to us. In person, Nigerians, more than 80% of Nigerians did not see the president by his face. They didn't see him face to face, but the media promotes that person and make them vote the person. The person they don't know. The media paint the person the way they want, and the media also persuade the religious institutions, because that's what the media keep repeating every day. Then the religious institution believe that, okay, the media is an agent of the truth, which in a real sense, the media is not an agent of the truth. They are just telling you what they want you to hear and what they want you to believe. So it's a culture of indoctrination that has been happening with the enemies within. Most of Nigerians, they are telling you, okay, me, I think, because, and you further broadly categorize them into two, the conscious enemies within and the unconscious enemies within. These four are conscious enemies within, because all of them know what they are doing. But the unconscious ones are the ones that, oh, okay, I had it and I promote it, I accept it, and I preach that people should do it the same way these people are saying. So you are unconsciously, okay, saying that, okay, this is not right, but since that's the norms in the society, okay, let's do it, even if it is not right. So you are helping the what? So you are helping the system, because you know in yourself with those, that's the what, the silence. That's why in the article I said, what, silence is not neutrality. You know it is not right and you cannot rebel, so you are just keeping quiet. So you are helping the system. That's unconsciously, you are what, you are helping the system to maintain itself. Because when you have a problem at home, you didn't solve the problem, you are just sitting down, you are not adding fuel to it, but you are not quenching it. So it means you are allowing it, okay, spread to where you can go. As far as I'm concerned, since you are not touching, even if you are touching me, I'll keep shifting. You know, that's why the realness are doing what they are doing. They know that Nigerians, we can adjust at any moment. No matter how they push us, we'll break the wall and move to the next available space. That's how we keep breaking the wall. So maybe before we rebel back, till when we finish all the wall, we'll see the next thing, there is no wall to go to break and pass. Because if you have 15 naira, you spend the 15 naira and sell your trouser and do the next thing. So that's our culture of what, always, no matter how they press us, instead of us to fight back, no, we'll break the wall and go to the next space. So that's those people that are keeping silence are the ones that are the unconscious ones. That's why I said we have broadly conscious and the unconscious enemies within. The four are the conscious enemies. That's the media, the religious institution, the traditional institution, and the family institution. While the unconscious ones are the silent Nigerians that they know things are not going right and they are doing nothing to it. So that's my take. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Salisu. So we have about 16 people watching. I don't know if anybody want to join the conversation. If they do, they have to join us on the Movement Radio on X. Ibukun, your take on the enemies within, and then further announcement regarding those who might want to join, don't know where to join. That's always the problem we're always having with these multiple stages that we show ourselves. People don't know exactly how to come in for the conversation. You can highlight them on that and then give us your take on the enemies within. If we don't have any more additional discussants, we could then round up and give a final take on this. But it's been a very good discussion. What is it? Is it being recorded? That's what I wanted to know, so we could replay it. Ibukun, do we have this recorded or it's not?
Yes, it's recorded. It's recorded.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. That's good then. That's good. That's good. So give your take. First of all, announce to the people how, if they want to have a say and tell us who they think are the enemies within. They can join us, and if nobody joins, we might give our final take and then round up to prepare for our next program.
All right. Thank you so much. I would like to announce first that if you have double audio system in your studio, it will be, maybe you should try to off one of the audio system. It seems as though we are having feedback from this outside of things, but well, the ultimate announcement would be make our audience, may they try explore the audio version of this broadcast. Because of course, the reason why we get many channels be say so that people go fit choose the one way they okay for them. And to so many people, people like to view things. They like to dey see wetin that they hear. So I understand it. So it is problematic for them to join the audio when they have the option of the visuals and the audio visuals. And that is why audio visuals is now the thing. They want to see, they want to hear. And of course, we are more concerned about their participation. But the culture of participation for Nigeria, it get as it take be. And Engineer Sani can bear me witness to that. The culture of participation, no dey this country, make I no lie. And we must have that culture of participating, of speaking, of lending our voice to anything that is going on. We should speak, we should comment, we should participate in one way or the other. It's one of the culture we will suppose cultivate for this country. And of course, to re-emphasize the announcement, please, in our subsequent broadcast, I beg, make we also take advantage of the audio facility. Make we also take advantage of the audio session of our broadcast. And to my submission about the enemies within, I can summarize it. You know, and the summary will be the enemies within are the professionals. The professionals in this country are the enemies within. Because we have these professionals as our uncles, as our wives, as our husbands, as our friends. That is why I have great respect for professionals like Mr. Abdullahi Sani, because he's by profession an engineer, but he doesn't keep quiet.
It's
in the
Salisu,
face.
not Sani. You keep calling him Sani. It's Salisu.
Oh, so sorry about
Abdullahi
that.
Salisu Ahmed.
Okay, so sorry
go
about
ahead.
that. Engineer Abdullahi Salisu. So I believe is very much disciplined in a particular field of life, but he is indeed very much participating with, you know, the current ordeal of the people. So very, very important. So I respect professionals where they participate, where they identify with the people. But most of our professionals, despite being victim of the system, they have refused to speak out. And in many cases, they have even aided and abetted this current rotten system. They have, they have found a way to become one. For instance, there's a particular debate going on about a certain presidential candidate saying that he's going to pay 500,000 naira as minimum wage. I am not seeing Nigerian workers endorsing. I'm not seeing unions. We have unions of doctors. We have unions of journalists. We get unions of engineers. We also get unions of teachers. None of them is saying anything about it because they are afraid. They are afraid of what will happen to them if they decide to endorse, even if that candidate is talking about things that they will benefit from. So the Nigerian professionals are the enemies within. They are the ones doing the dirty job. for the politicians where they spoil this country. In fact, they are the ones that constitute the permanent secretaries we did for all of these our agencies. The permanent secretaries, the civil servants. They call them evil servants because there's nothing civil in what they are doing. They are the ones writing and, of course, doing the dirty job, cleaning the dirty job on behalf of the politicians. So the Nigerian politicians are the real culprits here. They are the ones that we can indeed call the enemies because they are the ones that associate with us, not the politicians. They are the ones that we see in our face me, I face you, because many face me, I face you people, civil servants, they live among them. You go see civil servants for your streets. Now them go, they even tell people for the street, say, I did for the ministry. Make them know they criticize them. It's not easy. And them go, they tell people, say, now because I know they see waiting with the face for office. Politicians, they try. Now don't know what they happen. They are the ones that are living in our area. Now them, they live for our community. Now them, they report the news. Now them, they treat us for hospital. So this is the real problem. The enemies within are the Nigerian, they are the professionals. Because as Mr. Alaba said, they are the ones who should call out the mess because they are professionals in the field. We have professors in this country where they can analyze in details everything they happen for this country. They are professors, but you would not see them become one of the panelists on Movement Radio. They will, even if you invite them, they don't go accept that invitation. And they have expertise. For instance, all of the fraud where they happen for Lagos now, professors we sabi waiting they happen. They know all of the things where government don't do. We make all of this flood they happen everywhere. But if you invite them to come to a platform like Movement Radio, they don't go come. They don't go analyze the issue, put camera for their face, talk about and blame the government. They don't go do them. And they are professors. They have written papers on flooding. They have written patencies. When they make terminologies, when they analyze issue for you, you go know say there's a waiting they go on. So these are now them gone and be the enemies within. Now, in fact, now them they help politicians rig election because if you observe, now them politicians, now them electoral officers, and then I mean not be so, Mr. Abdai. Now professors, now them they read the election figure for us now, not be so.
Yes, they are the returning officers, no?
Now them be the returning officers. They are the ones. Now them they read all of the Wayo figure. We politicians they take enter office.
The question is why do they do it? Is it survival, stomach infrastructure, lack of understanding of what their role should be in the society, you know, as the guardrail, or the lack of understanding of their professional ethics, or just pure poverty, you know, abject poverty, you know, Omojo Larry syndrome. There got to be something pushing them to do it. With the ones in the West, sometimes most of them don't do it, but some do it, but they get caught and the system discipline them. Here, these professionals are the ones that are supposed to be the ones to discipline those that get caught, and they don't. As long as the question is, what's making them do it? And well, you know, does anybody have an idea why?
They call one question German question for Nigeria. I don't know if you are. They go write all of the options. They will write all of the above. This one are all of the above of waiting you talk so, Mr. Alaba. All of the above. So I beg, Mr. Salisu, please proceed.
Yes, I think all of the above also, because survival is there, because most of them, what they are getting is cannot even sustain them. Because thinking of a senior professor in a university, federal university, getting less than highest is 450,000 naira a month, expecting him to fund his research, do all his things, take care of his family, and you know how things are happening in Nigeria. When one person get a job, he have like 2 to 3 people, extended family that is taking care of. So in respect to taking care of those people, you do all shady things that is not only to feed himself, to survive himself, but to also fulfill his own family right and community right. And you know, we have also inculcate and adopt this culture of okay, once this person is here, we're expecting more from him. So we push that person to do the wrong thing instead of encouraging him to do the right thing. Let him do the right thing so that the system can work for all of us. But no, they will tell you okay, just get job for your friend, okay, help your brother, help this, even if that person is not doing the right thing. So ethnicity, religion, family, and all those things have really dealt with us in a serious and put us in a serious mess. So most of them, they know what they are doing is wrong, because if you speak to many of them, they will tell you that okay, this thing we know it, but how can we change it? Because so many of them have already, and to sometimes the politicians hold some of them to their jugular, because when you are getting job, maybe you do, or in the process you do 1 or 2 things that is wrong. So they will tell you either do it our own way or you too will expose you. And some of them, they make sure they place them in all those places because they don't allow you just as someone that they know you are radical, that you can go against them, to be in a very sensitive position. They won't allow you. So the system itself is, that's why all those ones that you see up there, there are people that no matter how, if you look at the likes of Atayiru Jega, Professor Atayiru Jega, the former INEC chairman, when you know him before he became the INEC chairman, you think that okay, once he is there, he's going to liberate the electoral system and make sure that Nigeria gets it right. But at the end of the day, till when he left office, then he continued writing his long, lengthy articles on how the system keeps failing. So these are people that you know when he is there, they hold him as a jugular. He can't do anything. So many of it at the time that some things you can't even explain. Some things you can't explain. These are jam questions that, just like Ibokura have said, they are jam questions that we ordinary citizens cannot answer. Maybe them, when we invite maybe one of them, which they will refuse to, because they know we will ask them question. We have no sanction from NBC. Nobody is here to question us. It's an independent radio, a platform that the government has no say on it. They will say no. Those kind of media, they will make you say something that at the end of the day, you will lose your job. That's what, because all what you are getting at the end of the day as a person, even a senior ranking civil servant in Nigeria, is just for you to survive. So they are looking for survival. Their means of livelihood will be cut off. So that's why they are very scared to come to this kind of platform and discuss real issues. When you meet some of them at their personal office, what you discuss with them is different from what they are doing. They will say the system, the ethics of the profession has constrained them to be, they are constrained with the system, so that they will just keep working for the system. So unless we educate a lot and inform a lot of Nigerians, so that we stand up against the system and then work, make sure the system work for all of us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So much. So I was just thinking as you were saying, like, are they, the most of some of them are conscious, some are unconscious, but I think they feel very happy or therapeutic for them when they are able to blame someone at the top. Oh, without mentioning their own role in helping the system. It's easy to, when you are able to blame someone. Ah, this one is responsible for the problem. That one is responsible. Anyway, we got to keep educating. Um, Ibukun, are you done? Should we give our last comments? Is any other person joining us? Should we change the format of where we have people join us for discussion, or we're good like this until we get it clearer?
Well, I believe variety is the spice of life.
Okay.
And the fact that we are giving them the options to choose whichever ways that suits their circumstance.
Yeah, we're giving them option to listen, but we're not giving them.
Yeah.
We don't have an option for discussion. That's the part. Should we read? Should we check
No,
on that? We'll do that after when we get off here. We'll discuss that when we get off here.
the fact that we have
But,
created
we
all of
just
the
leave it.
platform
I didn't hear
means
you.
that I said the fact that we have created a means for them to join, a platform for them to contribute, and they have chosen the video side of things compared to the audio. They would have to be the ones to choose at the end of the day. And of course, we have made it very clear that our own side of participation in this whole discussion is for them to join the space. So, but people would most likely love to choose audio visuals than only audio, because when they see who are the ones speaking, but they are not aware that if they choose to stick with the video, there's no way we can interact with them in real time. So it's good. Well, maybe we would have to shut down the video, but there's no way we can shut the video down just to restrict the channel of communication. But we just have to
We
keep
just keep
announcing
doing
to
what we're
them.
doing. We'll just and then keep
Yes.
announcing. I think
We have to keep announcing to them that there's a window of communication that they have to explore, which is the space. But of course, they can also communicate to us via commenting. They can comment their thoughts, and we will see it in the studio.
That's true. That's
Even
true. I didn't even
when
know
they
that
are
was
using the video, even if they are on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook,
on Facebook.
if they
or
drop their
anyone,
comment, we are going to see it. And once we see it, if it's in the form of question, we'll respond to it. So they have the gift of variety. I hope they will not abuse it. That is just what I would say.
Okay, that's good. So our final comment before we round up, or any other thing we want to cover for today. Maybe we announce our next coming show and prime people
Yes.
for that, and then we'll give our final comment,
yes.
and then we conclude. But it's been how long have we been on here? Oh wow, we've done 2 hours. Time be flying, oh. Okay, go ahead, Bukwan Salusi. I'm done with my talking.
In fact, we don't really try today to really delve into the subject matter of the enemies within. We don't break them into pieces in our lingua franca, as they used to say it. And the enemies within, we don't identify them. And we have to move beyond hope, say they go change. We have to move into the territory of how do we get them to change their wickedness, because it is wickedness against us. All their actions is a wickedness against us. So our strategy will go beyond just wishful thinking, because we have been wishing that they would do better. And why they are doing what they are doing is so many reasons, including stomach infrastructure, lack of responsibility of the weight of what they carry, the knowledge that they carry. And of course, they don't even have a good idea of the power of their unions, because unions not just exist not to make it a force of good for mankind, that within your professional body you are willing to speak truth to the government of the day, say this thing no good, because I know they do them again. Our own profession no follow join those wey go follow you, they do this kind of thing. But they don't have any interest. And now why many people they talk say until we have a revolution, revolution wey be say go dismantle all of this system completely, and we are going to rebuild fresh system, because the Yoruba will say ki omi tuntun ru, ki ẹja tuntun náà ru pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. That is, we have to have new system. That is, if there's new water, there will be new fishes that will enter it. That is what the old proverb is all about. So with this current old wine and old wine skin that we are dealing with, is not going to work, because their mentality is messed up. It will take a revolutionary leadership from the top to bring about that trickling down effects, so that everybody go sit right. All right. So we will not be making prescriptive. We will not recommend candidate for you because we are in political season. But on our no person where they prefer this kind of solution for a manifesto. Anybody of this manifesto, they will most likely keep having this mentality. So we don't talk well today, and I will pass the mic to Mr. Abdullahi Salisu for his own closing remark. And we hope that you are going to join us in our show tomorrow. We will go get conversation with person we escape the Pake way bandit Pakeam, where they demand for ransom and many other things.
Hold on, Iboko. Hold on, Iboko. I just seen a comment here. I think it's from okay. YouTube viewer. He said, "Well, good job. In my own opinion, if there is a way to block the video and let's be hearing only the audio, I believe that would be okay, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker." Somebody is suggesting maybe blocking the video and let's only do the audio. And I see Ochuko joining in the listener section. If a person wants to make any comment before we round up regarding who the enemies within are. You want to comment back to Adesanya Adeoye on the video? We'll do that later. But anyway, let's just round up, and if any other person want to say anything, go ahead. Who was talking next?
Now, Mr. Abdullahi. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. It has been a wonderful ride all through the session. It's an insightful and interactive conversation with something that is for all of us. The enemies within are not far from us. The enemies within are the actions and inactions of us, the fellow Nigerians. That's the action we take and the inactions that we also take. They are the things, because in one way or the other, we either encourage or discourage one of us. So those things that we do by encouraging others to keep quiet, and those inactions that we take as not taking action towards the injustice that is happening to all of us, makes us the enemies within. So we should look within ourselves, just like discipline, that we have discipline, internal discipline, and the exhibited discipline that we have. So we should always look within ourselves, that okay, if I am an enemy to the good of the society, so I should change, so that the system should work for all of us. Our collective silence will not help us, but our collective actions will help us. So it's a very wonderful and good interactive session. I look forward to see all of you and more. Invite more and more to join the movement radio and the movement itself. So let's liberate our country. The country belongs to all of us, even not for us, our children. Because keep seeing that our children are kidnapped every day. The system is not working for me, it's not working for you, it's not working for all of us. Things are difficult for almost everybody. Is as a result of our actions and inaction. So let's take the positive action today. Let's work towards liberating the system, and let's see a brighter and a greater Nigeria for our children. Because for us, it might it's possible because countries change their status in the space of 4 5 years 10 years. A lot of things happens, and even the system that we're currently seeing today is not a system that is impossible to change. It's something that is possible, because that slogan that is said to us that in Nigeria even what is impossible is possible. In the negative, let's make it in the positive. So even things that people think that we cannot change and we can't make it work, let's make it work. Let the system work for all of us, so that that healthcare system that you want to see, that educational system that you want to see, that functional healthcare, functional educational system that you want to see in your own country, in your own state, in your own local government, let's collectively work towards it. It's a collective task, it's a collective job, it's a collective responsibility. So let's do it together. I remain Abdullah Salisu. Thank you so much. That's my final say.
Yeah. So in closing, I'll leave the final comments to Ibukun. In closing, we want to thank our viewers, those who join us from YouTube, those who join us from Facebook, those who join us from Instagram. I can count like about 7 or so from Instagram. Those who join us from TikTok, and then those who are joining us from X. We thank you all for listening. Continue to join the Movement Radio, subscribe, listen. We are here to change narratives and help change the Nigerian situation so we can have a better country and good citizenship. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on Saturday when we take on the terrorist survival and some other issues. Please join us at that time. Ibukun, any last comments before we end the stream?
Yes, my last comment will be Saturday will be explosive. Do not miss it for anything. Set your reminders, and of course, we will also remind you as the time draws closer, so that you will not miss any of the juicy talking points on Saturday. Thank you so very much, and we look forward to having all of you join us. Please tell someone to tell someone to tell someone about the Movement Radio. And it's a platform that we have to build to a reputable status that can challenge the established sell-out media organizations in Africa and Nigeria. Thank you so very much. Have a nice day and enjoy the rest of your week.